Suspect arrested after the 6 decomposed bodies were discovered in a Johannesburg building earlier this month has been positively identified. Police conducted an identity parade with the suspect on Friday. Now, the suspect can now be identified as 20-year-old Sfiso Mkhwanazi. His matter has been postponed to the 31st of October for a formal bail application. Newzroom Afrika's Zikhona Tshona outside the Johannesburg Magistrates Court and joins us now. Zikhona, good morning to you. So we know the identity of the suspect, Sfiso Mkhwanazi. What happens from here on?
A very brief court appearance, Oli. As you've mentioned, now the suspect can be identified following the conclusion of that ID parade, which police say, or the state rather, has told the court that he has been positively identified. So it's Sfiso Mkhwanazi, 20 years old. His lawyers also coming out before court to say that the suspect was visited by his father as well as an official, and he was forced into making a confession. The magistrate had to remind the court that the suspect is still innocent until proven guilty. So any confession that is made has to be made willingly by the suspect. So now the matter has been postponed to the 31st of October for a formal bail application. We know that the suspect did indicate on his first court appearance that he will be applying for bail. The NPA saying that it will be insisting that it will be opposing his release on bail. So the matter has been postponed for further investigation. The state telling the court that the DNA results are not yet available, as well as the identity of the deceased in this case. But to talk to me more about the state's case is the NPA's Today's court proceedings, very brief. We now have a little more details around the suspects. What else we know with regards to the investigation?
Well, investigations are ongoing. They are not yet concluded. So the matter has been postponed for that purpose, to allow the state to conduct further investigations. And it was as well set down for a formal bail application, which will be heard on Monday the 31st.
Tell us about the motive of the crime. Do we know any details yet?
Well, remember that forms part of the evidential material that can only be presented in court once we have concluded all investigations and the court is ready to hear the trial.
And the people that were involved in this ID parade, do we know them? Are they state witnesses?
The people that participated in the ID parade are part of the witnesses that will be giving evidence for the state.
Last week, we are not happy with the readiness for court. The bail application is coming up now. Is the NPA confident that it will be ready for this?
Indeed, the prosecutor is working closely with the investigating officer to start preparing evidence that will be brought before court to support us opposing the release of the accused on bail.
Thank you so much. That's Tshona, who is the spokesperson for the National Prosecuting Authority. Now, today was also the first time that people in the gallery, in as far as activists as well as the sex workers who have been coming out here for each and every court appearance to protest outside court, was the first time that the suspect was visible in court, in the sense that his face was no longer covered. So I want to talk to one of the sex workers who has been a regular in court to talk to us about what she felt when she saw the suspect for the first time. Sis, if you can just talk to us today, you could see the suspect, and I think that's been your complaint as you've been coming to court, that the suspect's face is hidden and his identity is hidden. How was it today?
Yeah, it's painful. Like, he's a young boy, but he's scary. I'm feeling pain because whenever I see his face, I was just thinking of what he did.
Previously, you've told me that you started noticing months ago that some of your colleagues would start disappearing on a Sunday with a certain client. Mm-hmm. Is this the client? Do you recognize this person that you saw in court today?
Yes, I did. And we were also on the, I went for identity parade. He's the same guy. He's the one. So, I don't have much to say today because I'm still in pain. And what pains me most, because we're just praying for the evidence to be more so that they can put him away, because I heard he's applying for bail too. So we are just praying.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's one of the sex workers who has been a regular in court, saying that she does recognize the person that she saw before court today. And of course, she's not the only one that is hoping that those DNA results will be concluded soon, because families here are not yet able to bury their loved ones because of those DNA results being outstanding. So, as far as court today is concerned, the matter is postponed to the 31st of October for a formal bail application by the accused Sfiso Mkhwanazi. The state saying it's missing the identity of those who are deceased, as well as the DNA results. The motive behind this crime is still being investigated.
Zikhona, Tshona, thank you very much for that live update.